Okay, how's everybody doing? Okay, so listen, I have to start putting videos on this channel. I decided that this is my channel that I'm going to start doing my gardening, my sewing, and things like that with. Okay. Um, it's one of the channels that I'm going to do that with. So I do need the view time on this channel. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I you ever as a person who sews, I watch many videos, um and I sit there and I watch these people, not just sewing but even cooking or just doing different things. When I watch and I wonder like, how are they able to do that? Because when I'm doing what they're doing, I'm not able to do that. And believe it or not, when I catch them live, I ask the question. And sometimes they answer. And I love it when they answer. See, when they answer me, they definitely get, I will follow them to the ends of the earth. I will subscribe and support them. And then they're the ones who see my question, but they're not going to answer. And then I realize, okay, they gotta, uh, they have to upkeep this imaginary, how should I say it? This imaginary, um, I don't want to say lifestyle, but people just not being real. So let me give you an example. I was watching a YouTuber, can't remember her name, because I follow so many. Um, and she was sewing, and I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I was like, how do you keep your area so clean? I said, because I cannot do it. And she said, oh my God. She said, if I pointed the camera down there or in that direction, she said, you wouldn't believe it. And it made me feel so much better because, geez, you know what I mean? I live in my house. I actually live in my house. My sewing area is not a studio where I have people coming in and out, putting things in place and making sure the place is clean when I walk in, working and I walk away. Like my cooking channel. Y'all see me when I pull out the flour, I measure the flour, I do everything. And then after everything is done, whoa, you can see the flour over there, the sugar over there, the yeast over here. You know what I mean? And now it's time for me to clean the mess up. And I've had people, of course, the haters tell me, oh, your kitchen is dirty. And they're actually claiming that the kitchen is dirty, but apparently they don't know what dirty is. But they remember when I stepped in that kitchen, everything was in order. Everything was in order. They watched me use this, that, and the third. They watched me use everything, mix everything up, and then they watch me put everything that I use in the sink. But I can't be mixing up cooking and washing dishes at the same time. But in TV shows and in movies and things like that, of course, everything stays magically clean. But anyway, let's get back to this sewing thing that I'm talking about. Um, Questions that people do not ask, maybe because they're afraid that it might sound ridiculous. Um, Maybe it's because you know, they just don't want to seem like the idiot, the class idiot, or maybe they just figured that people might assume that they already know, that they should know. One of the things is, bam, I received some fabric today. Um, I did receive this order from, I placed an order for some fabric. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. And I was thinking when I was measuring it because, yes, some of these companies are not trustworthy. Okay. It's gotten so bad in some cases where when I get my order, I record myself. Um, okay. When I get my order, it's gotten so bad with some of these companies. When I get my order, I record myself opening the package, reviewing, almost like I'm doing a YouTube review of a product. I open the package on video, and then I go through everything so they can see, and in case something's missing, because I don't want there to be an argument. Some of these companies are, especially when you're dealing with home-based companies, small business owners, you can actually end up in a back and forth with these people. Okay. The larger companies don't really give you a big argument. You know what I mean? Because the person you make contact, it's not like it's something coming out of their pocket. But when it is a smaller business like myself, and I understand, I'm not saying it in a bad way, right? Because I'm a small business owner. And if I send you something and I know I sent it to you, if you uh email me and tell me you receive half the package, half the product, but I know I sent you the whole product in the same package, how did you receive half the package when I only sent you one package? You're telling me, well, I did receive this and this, but not this and this. And I'm like, ma'am, if you received this and this, but not that and that, but I put it all in the same package, how could that be? You see what I'm saying? So I do understand. I'm not saying what I'm saying as if these companies don't have a right to question whether or not people are telling the truth. We do have a lot of people out here scamming. And if they can get away with something, they will, right? We see people placing Uber Eats orders. The drivers are dropping off their food, and then these people are claiming that they didn't get their food. And then the driver is the one stuck having to explain that. And that's screwed up because somebody gets screwed in. So I feel like on my end, I'm going to do my part. I open the package on camera. That's what we have phones for, right? We have video capabilities. I record myself. Uh, I want them to see me actually open the package, and I record myself doing everything I need to do. And that way, if I'm shorted something or if something is wrong, they can't claim that I did it or that I'm not telling the truth. Now, if everything is okay, I go in and I delete the video. It's that simple. So that's how you could protect yourself. And that's what I would suggest to anybody. If you buy something from me and you think that maybe I may cheat you out of something. I don't know why I would. You know what I mean? I'm over here doing all the hard labor. I don't take orders if I can't fill the order. Like I don't take 100 orders and then sit here and try to take those orders. That's why I tell people to email me. Like email me and then we'll talk based on what you tell me you want. Then I'll decide how long that'll take. And as soon as I'll let you know every step. Because I'm not a business that have fabrics at my home. So I'll let you know how much money I need to buy the materials. As soon as you send me the money, I buy the materials. I let you know, hey, I just bought the materials. When the materials get to my home, I let you know, hey, I just got the materials. And then I'll give you a date on when I'm going to start on your project. I give you that means you now know a start date. I give you a potential end date. If anything go wrong in between those two dates, I notify you. So I'm not the person who, first, I'm not the person where when you place that order, you know it's going to be at your house in 3 to 5 days. I'm not that person. Okay. That's why I don't do Etsy. I make custom items over here. Okay. When y'all deal with Etsy, those are not custom items. Those people are buying items and then reselling items. They could call them handmade because if they take an item they purchased and and change it in any way by like putting your initials on it with vinyl, similar adding sublimation to it. Anything they add to it, they could Etsy consider it handmade. But I am a handmade maker and I do custom work. So that means when you order from me, you actually place an order. Okay. Unless like if and I am trying to do it, but it's hard because when I make something, somebody see it, somebody buy it. So it's hard for me to stock up on anything because when I make it, somebody, oh, that's cute. I want that. And it flies, it's out. It sells. But anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you the first thing. So I just gave you some advice on how to protect yourself as a customer, and also if you are a creator of anything, if you sell anything, um, you know, if you are a small business owner, you can protect yourself uh, by by you know, possibly just recording yourself as you package your items. And the one thing that is protecting yourself as a business owner is the way the customer or you ship it to the customer. So your customers, in case you didn't know, um, I can offer to ship you something and it may be a little cheaper, right? But if I ship it to you, like let's say it's a small product and I just ship it to you regular US mail, you don't get any tracking number or anything. And it may be cheaper, right? But the issue with that is if you can't track it. And if something does happen to it, that's it. You lose out, I lose out. But if you track it with the standard $14.99 or whatever the price is now, even though some of y'all might say, well, damn, that's a lot for the shipping for this small item, where you're getting more than just the shipping of the item. You're getting a tracking number so you can know where it is, and insurance. There's insurance on that item. So if the item is lost in transit, then I can make a claim or you can make a claim. You say, hey, I didn't get it. You call me, tell me you didn't get it. You reach out to the mailing service. You reach out to me, you reach out to them. I reach out to them and say, hey, my customer didn't receive this item. And then they pay me so I won't lose money. I remake the item and then I ship it to you. You don't lose, I don't lose. Okay? So that's why, yes, sometimes the shipping may cost you more, but it's protection. Okay? It is protection, especially small business owners like myself. I be hating to add that cost in to people. I'll be like, oh yeah, and the shipping. Look, um, I listen, I may have made you something and it may cost you a couple $100, but don't you want to protect that through the mail? Yes, you do. You want to protect that through the mail. You want to make sure that that gets from me to you safely. And if it don't get from me to you, there's if it's a wedding dress, of course I can't remake that wedding dress in a couple of days. That's why for sure certain things that's mailed, you want that months in advance. There's some people who be wanting things and they be wanting it. Oh, it's okay. I got a lot of time. You can ship it to me 2 weeks before. What? For a big event like a wedding? You want me to ship it to you 2 weeks before? I'll do that, but if anything happens in between times, or if you need some adjustments done or anything like that, hey, I can't guarantee that I'm gonna be able to fit you in, or you might not even be able to find nobody to fit you in to make adjustments. Some people just not, they don't think things through. You know what I mean? They don't think things through. The truth of the matter, if we talk about a wedding dress or a graduation dress or anything, prom dress, those are things that need to be handled in advance in case you need some adjustments done. Or if it's mailed, you want that to you, because suppose that dress that I made for you get lost in transit, we got to go through the mail so I can now reorder fabric and remake that dress. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we realize I can't remake that dress in time. So you get the money back. You get the money back from the claim. So you could go out and buy a prom dress or a wedding dress. This last minute thing that people do, that is terrible. Okay? And then but they'll fault me. I'm at fault. Even after I've done the job, I sent the product, and then when they don't get it, for some reason they fault me, even though I had nothing to do with it. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway, so let's go to my next piece of advice. I'm gonna share my camera. Give me a second here. So I did share that I can show y'all videos on my iPad or on my phone where when I receive something like fabric, I open it up like the package that I have now. I already did what I'm about to do, but I decided today that I'll show you um because I was getting ready to figure out how to cut this fabric, right? Um and sometimes I sit and I think, okay, how do I want to cut fabric? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let me share the screen. Let me share iPhone, iPad. Okay, so here I'm upstairs, y'all. I do have a cutting table and everything, but it's downstairs. I've been working up here um probably for the last year. Most of the stuff I do without having to go downstairs. Okay, so this is a mat that I bought that I could put on my board, on my bed. I'm sorry, and it kind of gives me a harder surface, that I could just sit on the bed. So that's what this is. I do not use this to do any cutting unless I'm using scissors. Um, Usually I cut with what is called geez, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm all over the place right now. These are my cutting tools. Okay. This is my cutting tools right here. Generally, when I cut large pieces of fabric, though it is with this, and you do not cut on this type, do not cut on this with this, okay? This is not meant to be cut on with this rotary cutter, okay? Couldn't think that could not, I don't know why that didn't come to my mind, rotary cutter. These are Pekin shears, okay? And these are just regular shears. And these are nothing special, but Pekin shears were good. This is what we used before the sergers and things like that, okay? And these are just regular shears. And to be honest, these came with my sewing kit. So these are nothing spectacular. Okay, see that? And I can sharpen. Okay, these are just Singer shears that came in my sewing kit. Nothing big. You don't have to invest. Or you can. I guess the more you get into seams, it depends on what you're making, how much things you're doing. But like I said, I got into using my rotary cutter. And that is why I did not get into buying a very expensive pair of shears. Okay. They're called shears. There's a difference between scissors and shears. Okay. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so when I received my fabric, it wasn't like this. It was already folded. It was just folded neatly. Okay. It was folded neatly. And this is 5 yards. It's supposed to be 5 yards. Okay. That's what I ordered. 5 yards of this color. And so while I was sitting, I was thinking, okay, when I opened it, I measured it. I did. So I used to wonder, okay, how do I know if I got 5 yards? Because I thought it was 20 yards of fabric, same color. When you get the same color, depending on how many yards, depending on the company, depends on how they send it to you. Okay, you might get a boat. I think a boat is. Who don't quote me on this? Is it? I don't even want to lie because I think I received a uh, fabric on a boat at 8 yards, 9 yards. It's somewhere around that. And let me look it up. Let me see. I don't want to give y'all this information. Okay. Wait, look, I forgot I received something. A message. Hold up. Anyway, let me see what a boat. And it's B. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly. If I am, EOLT. Okay, that's so just in case I'm pronouncing, y'all know I'm from the South. Let's see what what fabric is. It's 8 yards. I think a boat is 8 yards. I was right. I knew it. So I received a boat of fabric. It's got 8 yards of fabric. And so if you order 8 yards of fabric and they usually come on a boat, what does a boat look like? I think I have one. Uh, I have an empty one. Empty. It comes on this and it'll be wrapped around it. And they'll just send me this. That's why I have this, because it was a boat of fabric on here. And on the boat, this is where you go and get your fabric information on things like that. Okay. We'll go through that maybe another time. But for those who are new to sewing, that would be great. Maybe I will talk about that in this video. But for now, we are going to talk about measure. So here is a yardstick. I bought this yardstick a while back. Okay, this is 1 yard. This is a yardstick. Okay, a yard is look like 36 inches based on this yardstick. I didn't know that automatically, but I just looked at the stick, and right here is 35, and then here will be 36. Okay. So we buy our the fabric in yardage. You don't have to buy a full yard and a yard, and you can buy, of course, as you see, more than a yard. I ordered 5 yards. So what I did was I took the fabric and I laid it out like this. Okay, I laid it out. I don't think y'all can see, but give me a second. I'm gonna fix it where you can see it in a minute. I just have to get it up here. See if I can back it up a little bit. Because all y'all see is the purple fabric, right? Okay, now y'all should be able to see it. So this is the end of the fabric. That way is the width of the fabric going that way, right? Which is not that long. I think the width of this fabric happens to be about 40, anywhere from 43 to 45 inches. I can't measure it to give you the exact, but it doesn't matter. So we know because this is 5 inches, and I might be low. I'm sorry, y'all. I might be low because I walked away from the laptop. And I do speak low. I talk low. And people be thinking I actually talk really low. Okay. So I'm gonna try to speak a little louder. And the video may not be caught up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop it and start it back up. Okay. Um, yeah. I'm gonna start it up again. When I share the screen like this, it's kind of slow. It falls behind. Okay, so eventually y'all will see. So fabric ones width wise, usually 43 to 45 inches, and it could be wider. It will inform you that on this part of, so see this here, actually this says, this fabric that I bought here was a flannel, and it was 42 inches. See right here? It was 42 inches. It was made in Pakistan. It's 100% cotton. Now, this is not this fabric. This is just, this was another fabric, okay? So that's where the information for the fabrics that you purchase will be. And this also gives you the price. And the price is per the yard. Whatever this fabric was $7.99 per yard. Okay. So imagine that this fabric here is $7.99 per yard, which it was not, it was more. Okay, this is not that fabric. This fabric is this is a different type of fabric. Anyway, so this is running. It's probably, I think they told me it's anywhere from 43 to 45. I can look it up and see, but I think that's what they informed me. I can measure it, but I don't really measure that. I never really, I kind of really trust them, right? Now let me tell you something about fabric also. When they cut fabric, if you ever watch them cut fabric, I notice people, them people don't be knowing what they're doing. They don't be caring if it's straight or none of that, right? And that's why when I'm there and they're cutting, I look at them. They not gonna cut directly yard for yard. They gonna give me a couple of inches on each side. I want at least 4 to 5 inches on each side. If this is the beginning of the yardstick, they better with like when they start because they're gonna have the fabric right there, right? And then they go to the other end and then they start cutting. If at that end, when they go to cut, I tell them no, they need to give me a couple of more inches. Okay? Because the fabric, I can look at this fabric and tell right now that it's not straight on this end. Look at it, you could tell. There's a big curve right there. Okay? The only thing that's usually gonna be straight is the selvage. The selvage ends are usually straight. Okay? That's the only areas that I usually and I can't even guarantee that's straight, to be honest. You know, I just use that as my starting point, and then there's a way to put your fabric on the grain, and that's a whole nother conversation. It's a little more in depth on the grain. And what you do if it's cotton fabric, you rip. I would go in and pull one of these. You see that right there? See one of them strands? Let me see if you can see it. See the thread right there? If you pull one of them and pull that, but see that is going this way. So that one won't work unless I want to go on the grain that way. But if I want it to be straight this way, I will pull one going this way, and that it will pull that way, and it will make it straight. You will be able to see the straightness all the way to the end, and that is how you get your fabric straight. And why is that important? I I think y'all. I think it's behind again. I'm gonna stop and start it again, y'all. I don't know if y'all, I'm gonna repeat what I'm saying, okay? Because I think when I stop it and start it, it may cut off what I've said and showed, okay? Because the way Zoom works, okay? So I'm gonna restart it, and then we'll do that again. Now, I know I'm giving out a lot of information, but I know I ramble a lot, but this is not rambling. This information is this is great information for you to know if you're a person who sews. I promise you this is information. If you sew clothing, this is information you will need to know because, yeah, if you sew clothing. Now, if you sewing, um, if you're sewing pillows and things like that, probably not so much. I can even make an argument that this is important even if you're sewing like curtains. You ever saw a pair of curtains made by home sewers, and the curtains just not laying right, like they hanging up there, but when you look at them, you could tell that they're not straight. You know what I'm saying? It's they're draping, but they're not. Even though you could tell that at the top it looks like it's straight, and at the bottom it look like it's straight, but the way it's draping is something about it looks off. Well, the reason that is, I'm gonna stop to share while I'm talking until I'm ready to talk about that again. Until I'm ready to show y'all something again. Okay, that way anyway, clothing, right? You ever seen somebody? You could tell homemade clothing from home sewists who don't know this information because they don't understand that it's very important. It's very important to make sure the clothing is on grain and that the grain is the weft and everything is straight. Because if one side of the pant leg, let's say on one, we could say on the same leg of a pair of pants. Let's say the front is straight, but in the back it's not straight. You see, pants leg are sewn together. And let's say the back is off grain, but the front is on grain. In the back, even though to the eye, you can't tell because it's all silent, but you can't tell that it's all off grain because there's no lines showing you that it's all messed up, but you can tell by the fit. And that's why there are clothing that costs more than other clothing, although they could be the same. It could be the same style, same color, same everything. But these quick fashion clothing, that is cheap because they do not care about how those clothing fit on nobody. They have these system of who this will fit on because they know that people don't care. They know that you will put it on and you'll make it fit. You'll put it on, you'll make it fit, you'll jazz it up, and you'll call it fashion. You know what I mean? You'll make something ugly into something beautiful, and that's not even a bad thing. But then when you realize that shit is ugly and you don't really like it, you'll toss that shit in the trash. That's called fast fashion. Fast fashion. You don't really like it. They know you're not gonna like it. They know that you bought it because it looked cute in the book, in the magazine. It looked cute. And maybe somebody told you it was cute. And then when you got it in your house, you was like, what is this? And he was like, oh, I could put some earrings with it. Oh, it'll match. I could put a purse with it. If you got to put a purse with a skirt to make it cute, then you know damn well that ain't cute. Because your wardrobe should be able to stand on its own. A skirt should be able to stand by itself, baby. You shouldn't need no earrings to make it. The earring's not supposed to make the skirt. The earrings is just an accessory. It's you changing up. I should be able to wear the same skirt 5 days a week, to be honest. You know, back in it, like I'm not even lying. It's not even that long ago. People be talking like, ooh, that was long ago. Man, if you 20, and I say 20 years ago, and y'all be acting like that was a long time ago. You was born. You not, unless you saying you that old. You know, y'all be acting like, look, y'all be saying y'all young, but then y'all say y'all old. Because if I say 20 years ago and you're 20, then that mean if you're not saying you're old, then it wasn't that long ago. But anyway, like it blows my mind sometimes the things people say. I'll be like, damn. But anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking. The way the clothing on your body is called the way it drapes, right? The way it drapes, the way clothing drapes, the way on women, the way clothing flows when you walk. Now, everything is not meant to flow when you walk, right? We have some clothing where we don't want it to be blowing in the wind, right? You know why? Because those clothing cost more money. You know what I mean? So we kind of essentially got to the point where we can't afford those clothing. So we decided that, okay, we're going to buy these clothing because they're more affordable. And we're going to claim that we don't like those clothing. It's almost like we psychologically decided that what's beautiful really isn't beautiful, and what's not really elegant, we decided that we just gonna call it stylish, and nothing's wrong with it, except when you lying to yourself and to everyone so much that you really truly believe it, and people are benefiting from it, because now what is used to be uh, considered cheap fashion is really not even cheap. Some of that shit should be costing like $1. I mean, them motherfuckers is putting $50 on something that should be $1. Like, for real. And people, that stuff is made from plastic. But I'm digress. I'm gonna leave that alone. That man-made fashion, that man-made fabric that was made to make certain things are now being made to put on our bodies. And it wasn't really created to use to put on our bodies. That's not what it was made for. We think, oh, man-made, oh, they made it to put on our bodies. No, it was man created, but it wasn't made for our everyday usage and wearage. But of course, a company found a usage for it, and it was really, 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 really cheap. And now they're making that stuff more expensive. But I digress. Let's get back to what I was talking about. That stuff, I see people walking around in their pants, right? You could tell that the front and the back of the same pants leg is not on grain. And that you could tell because some women and might have creases. You know how you have a crease in the port where you sit. You have a crease there that you can't get out no matter what you do. You thinking that it's something to do with you, but it's not to do with you. It's the way they sewed that stuff together. And you might look at it and you can't, when it's laying flat, right? When you put it on under the iron and everything, you don't really see nothing wrong. But remember, the body is not made flat, y'all. And the body not made flat, but they sewed it together like the body is made flat. That's why when you iron it, you can't find the problem. You thinking it must be something you're doing. Why is this crease here every time I wear these pants? Why when I wear this skirt? Why is the top rolling up on me? I'm not even fat, but the top of the skirt keep rolling up on me. These are issues with the person who designed the skirt. It has nothing to do with your body, because clothing, it made correctly, is for the body. Okay, clothing made correctly is made for the body, and so it doesn't matter that you gain some weight. That's not why that waistband keep rolling up on you. That waistband rolling up on you because that waistband was not put in that correctly. And you know the worst one yet, that never used to be until in the 2000s, where a woman like myself, where the skirt is higher in the back than it is in the front. Just because you got a bigger butt, just because you got a butt, the skirt is higher in the back than the front. Well, the body is built like that. It don't even matter if you got a big butt or small butt. If you got a butt, unless your front is made like your back. If your front is made like your back, which I don't think there's many people like that at all. Even children with diapers, when they got diapers on, they back is made a little different than their front, right? But then the skirt should be created to fit the body. And there should be no hiking up in the back. But the people who made the skirt, they didn't care about that because they know you don't care about that, because they know you still gonna buy. And if you're gonna buy, then they're not gonna take the time to design it right. And that's why even the designers, you could go and buy high-end Louis Vuitton skirts. And guess what? If them people don't take your measurements, it's still gonna be the same. Except they do at least different, they do make slight adjustments. They do make the slight adjustments. It's just not gonna be directly to your body. But if you wear a certain size, and they do put space there where the space needs to be. Did y'all know, like, people used to make their own clothing, or they had somebody locally in their neighborhoods, and those people locally in their neighborhoods used to take their measurements and make their clothing. This shit is new in the last, we're gonna give it 50 years. 50 years. We give it 50 years. When I was a kid, y'all, you got clothes a couple of times a year. And them clothes was meant to last. And they last to where you would get hand-me-downs, and you would hand down your clothes to your younger siblings, right? To your brothers and sisters and your cousins. The generation before me, my parents, my aunts and uncles, and listen, I'm 50, I'm 54, right? I'm in my 50s. I am telling y'all, that is how that was. So in 50 years, a whole industry is booming. In 50 years, we are doing things completely different. In 50 years, we are also destroying this earth with something that's not even necessary. If just think about it. If you had to take the time to make your clothing, you wouldn't be buying that many clothes, making that many clothes a year, because you would have to make your clothing, your husband's clothing, your children's clothing. Or if there was somebody in the neighborhood and they was making people's clothing based on their size. But not only that, everybody would look better. It would fit better. Anyway, here we go. Let's get back to things on grain. So I know I'm rambling a little bit because I got into some other stuff that has, it has to do with what I'm talking about, but it's a little off topic. I apologize. Let me get back to this. Look, it's on topic, but off topic. It's like, wow, what are you talking about? Well, I kind of got, when I started talking about the earth, people might think that's political, but hey, it's true though. It's true. Okay, listen. Here is what am I doing? Oh, I put it on video. I didn't want to put it on video. Okay, so that's salvage. Okay, they got the salvage, and the way this is a woven fabric. Okay, woven fabric is made where you have. Let me show you. See this right here? This is what fabric is made of. Where is it? This is that is cotton. So you got this line going this way, and that also going that way, right? So you have a long piece going this way, and you got a long piece going that way, and then they smush them up. And have you ever seen a loom and how they end up making fabric? They take these lines and they wove this stuff together, and they make fabric. That's how fabric is made. It's tightly woven, and it looks like it's just one piece of solid fabric, but it's actually um, hundreds of thousands, if not more, of little pieces of thread. That's it. That's why when you take thread and put it together, that's all this is thread. Thread is just the same thing, and you take it and you sew this shit together. Same thing, okay? I know it's a long lesson. I'm trying to make it short though. I'm trying to make it short. Okay. This is one of them classes, baby. I'm trying to put it all in, hoping that you already know some of this stuff. The basics, if you go to the basic first class, what you would learn is how do they make fabric. And how do they make fabric? It's with cotton. And what is cotton? And cotton turns into thread, what we call thread, but it's actually long fibers. Fibers then are compacted and then they turn it into what they call textiles. I'm calling it fabric, but it's actually called textiles, right? Because they make many different things and different type of textiles, right? Okay, cool. So that's the beginning, and that's the most I'm gonna go into it. If you want to know more about that, I could go more into that, but that's if you really want to be a really uh, I don't even know if you need to know that to be a seamstress or a fashion no, really be into it. If you want to do contour though, you might want to know a little bit about that because you would understand how to sew things together and make some special things, right? Where you don't just use because contours, you really sew with your hands and different techniques and things. But anyway, so let's get back to this. Now, let me show you how I measure mine to make sure they gave me enough. I use my yardstick. This is a trick I do. I have received less fabric than I was supposed to get several times from companies. Yes, I have. From even Joann's. And I'm going to tell you, depending on how less it is, I've been upset. One time I received a whole yard and a half less. And sometimes it's just an eighth of a yard. And um, sometimes I get more, like in this instance. Okay. The real good companies will give you more, like they should. They should give you more because they know this shit not straight. Okay. So anyway, I take my yardstick. A yardstick is something if you are a sewist and you buy fabric and you know you buy it by the yard, then I'm gonna have to tell you you need a yardstick or something that measures at least a yard. And this, by the way, this thing is also a yard. See, I'm not sure if you can see, but the end of this is 36 inches. So if you got this too, then that'll be my yards. Okay, so I don't really, and I can show you by measuring, and it measures this measures at 36 inches exactly. Uh, you know, I, I just learned. Let me see. Uh, that's interesting. What I just learned. Cause sometimes I be wondering. Let me show. Sometimes what I wonder, y'all, is if I should measure from the line or should I measure from the edge? Like I'd be wondering, should I measure from the edge or should I measure from, see that line right there? That line is actually, okay. Woo, Lord, I'm about to teach y'all something. Wait, I'm gonna have to stop it and start it. I'm gonna stop it and start it. Maybe I should do that directly from the camera. Okay, because this is behind again. Jesus Christ. Seems like the more I use it, the farther behind it gets. Let me see how should I do it. Okay. Let me make a change. Let me make a change. Make sure this don't come out. We're gonna make a change. We're gonna use the actual laptop. But well, Okay, first I'm gonna show y'all how to do that before I switch. Okay, let me do that first, really quickly, and then I'll go into what I was about to go into. Okay, and that way I don't have to switch it back. Y'all, it's not like I have a classroom and where I have all my notes of what I'm gonna talk about, how I'm gonna talk about it. If I did, then it would be more orderly. But as I go, and then something come up, and then I just go from there. I'm not sure if that's good or not, but uh, it is how I do things. Okay, so here, let me. Some people that might not be good, but some people, some of y'all may be a little more. You like things a little more orderly. Okay. Um, That's how I do things. Okay. I might not be a good teacher for some of you. Here we go. Let me share this. Now, to be honest, I just realized that this what is this thing? This thing I have here. I just realized that this is um a yard long. I just realized it when I looked down. I never really paid attention, to be honest. Okay. Um, I just was using it, like I said, as a hard surface on my bed in order to 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 actually, like when I'm drafting and just as a hard surface. Okay, that's what I was using. So I just realized that. So that's even better. So what I would do is I would take my yardstick and I measure 1 yard. Remember, you don't need to measure this way because we already know what that measurement is and we don't care about that measurement. We know what that is. We need to make sure they gave us enough. And I'm, like I said, I measured 5 yards. So I see, I'm gonna move this a little bit so we can see what I. Okay, so let's say the yard stick measures right here, right? Let's just say, because I don't have enough space, y'all. But anyway, using this thing and moving it. And the reason I'm not moving it all over the place, I have my mirror, my walls are mirrors. Okay. My walls are mirrors, y'all. So if I angle at too many of these walls, y'all will see me. And y'all already know I do not get dressed. Okay. I do not get dressed. And so that's why I'm purposely not angling this camera all over the place. Okay, that's my word. I'm sticking to it. Okay, so here is from that end to here is 1 yard. Okay, cool. So we're gonna take this, I'm gonna hold it here, and then I'm gonna fold. Either way, it don't matter. I'm holding this here and I'm gonna fold. Okay, I'm gonna take and we're gonna fold. We're just gonna fold. Yeah, yeah, I fold it. Let me see. See, my fingers are here, and I fold it. And I folded it, making sure this edge is straight. So we know that we got, if that was 1 yard, then we know we got 2 yards, right? Because 1 yard folded on another is 2 yards, right? So right now, this was 1 yard. That makes that 2 yards, right? So we're gonna still keep this in, and we're gonna take and fold it again. That same spot. But we're going to hold this spot too. This was the end of those 2 yards. And we're going to repeat. We see, so this is the other end of that 2 yards. And now we're going to take that and bring that here. And now, you see what I've done? That was the original pinch yard. And here is the other end. So now I have 1 yard, 2 yards, and 3 yards. Y'all see what I've done? I hope I explained that. And I'm going to do that again. You can fold it however, it don't matter. You can accordion it, you can mix that, you can reverse it, it don't matter. You just need to know that you need to keep them yards that way, and that helps. And now I have 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yard, 4 yards. Okay. And now I'm going to do that once again, because remember I said I bought 5 yards. I'm going to straighten this out and bring this not to the end, but to wherever it goes. You don't have to worry about all that over there, right? You just need to worry about where you been keeping your fingers and make sure everything's straight. And they gave me 5 yards and a little extra. And that's just a quick way of measuring to make sure they gave you what you were supposed to get. Okay? Just quick, nothing fabulous, nothing fantastic. Also, if I wanted to, I could cut the yards. If I wanted to cut it in 5 different yards. Now, there's a reason why you may or may not do that. Now, I'm not going to cut this into each yard, but I do want to cut this into, I may cut this in half. Okay, so there's some, I make clothing, right? And because I make clothing, sometimes I need long yardage, a lot of yardage. Like if I was making a complete dress, you don't want seams in dresses, right? So you wouldn't want me to piece fabrics together to make a dress because you don't want a seam in a dress. So that's why some things you might not want to cut into. Now, I am making a 2-piece shirt, skirt, a crop top skirt, mini skirt with some long sleeves, and also the skirt will be lined to make sure you can't see through it. This fabric is it's a nice flowy kind of fabric, and you could kind of see through it. It's not too opaque, but we don't want women walking around, even though it's gonna be cute, you know what I mean? But we don't want nobody being able to see through the skirt. So I'm going to line the skirt. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to turn this off right now. I think I showed you. Did I show that? Yeah. So I'm going to line the skirt. What else am I going to do? I did buy all of this, isn't just for that outfit, because I had to buy um I had to buy 5 yards for that outfit, but this is 5 yards of this color, but I did buy another color, a black, for this. So I think I ended up buying 3 yards of black. Wait, what did I buy? I had to see what I bought, because look, I ended up buying like maybe like $100 something worth of fabric, different type of fabric. But this was for that outfit. I ended up getting black in this for one outfit. I decided to get some extra purple in case I make some mistake, of course. You never know. You never know. And you never know if you need some changes. Okay. Let's see what else. The sleeves is gonna be a bell sleeve. That's what now. So let me tell you, it's hard. So now the next question or issue when people like sewists be thinking, okay, well, should when I get these long pieces of fabric that I ordered, should I cut it in half? Should I cut it in half? And what I would tell you is, what I'm gonna do is, based on the project that I'm using this fabric for, one of the projects, I'm going to cut the fabric based on that project. In other words, I'm going to take the skirt and the top. And I'm going to show y'all. First, I'm going to draft. Now, originally, I was going to draft directly on the fabric, which I'm going to do a video possibly on that, showing you how to do that, right? I'm telling you, buying patterns is a waste of your time. It's a waste of your money, but you could get patterns are expensive, right? Patterns can be patterns. Is there a good reason to buy a pattern? Um, I'm trying to think of one. I want to say that there might be some reasons you might buy a pattern. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. You want to buy a pattern, you want to make something for some grandchildren, but the grandchildren don't live near you. And you don't, and nobody around them know how to take their measurements. And so you just decide, okay, look, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna buy a pattern, and based on their age and a little bit that you know about them by watching them, I'm gonna make them this outfit. And if they can't wear it now, they'll end up growing in it. And you'll get a pattern, and you could do that. And that is a good idea to buy a pattern. Okay. If you got them kids around you though, that's no read. And I'm gonna draft something really quickly, and I'm gonna show you how simple it is to make a pattern to a person body, to a person. For anybody new who never drafted anything in your life, you are, if you learn this from the jump, you it'll be easy. Now, if you learn how to sew other ways first, you may think that this will be hard. You'll be like, wow, like that's gonna be hard. Like I never no, you if you learn this first, you know what I mean? It's almost like if you learn, I don't know, how should I say, if you learn how to drive a car in a stick first, and but those people who never drove a stick, they're thinking, oh my God, I would never be able to drive a stick. It's gonna be hard learning how to drive a stick. And you're thinking, oh my God, no. That's because you learned how to drive in a stick. And you know what I mean? It was just like everybody else just learning how to drive a car. In your mind, you was like, hey, I'm learning how to drive. And that's all you thought of it is, I'm learning how to drive. It just so happens that you learn how to drive in a stick, using a stick shift. And so that's how all of this is, you know. And I mentioned that I never saw a pattern in my parents' house. My mother, she did sew. Most of her sewing was by hand. My grandmother had a sewing machine. Um, Another grandmother had a sewing machine, and I had an aunt who's like she was so I don't even know, like that aunt. It seemed like she would just sew from her head. Cause I'm gonna have to talk. I'm gonna have to call her. I had a couple of aunts who sewed, but this one aunt, I just never seen her. I don't remember her drafting anything. Like I said though, with her, I was young. That aunt made my wedding gown. She made my wedding gown from a wedding gown, which means she was very limited. You know what I'm saying? And because she was limited, because the gown that I had was an aunt's gown, and that aunt was taller than me, and she was tall and thin, and because she was tall and thin, and my aunt had the here I am short. But and so because I'm short, she had to figure out how, and I don't know how she did it. There was no pattern used or nothing. Okay, and I wanted a high neck, and my aunt's dress was had her chest all out. Oh my God. Like and she took one dress and completely turned it into a whole nother dress. And then look and check this shit out. My aunt gave me the dress. She's like, yeah, she was like, you can have the dress. And I couldn't believe when my aunt asked me for that dress back after I used it. I looked at her like, I looked at her. Everybody in the family looked at her. She was like, yeah, um, can I have my dress back? Where's the dress? Everybody looked at her like, everybody looked at her. I looked at her. My aunts looked at her. My mom looked at her. They gave it back to her. She looked stunned. It was a complete different dress. Just complete different dress. Shit, no, not that I think about it, I did use somebody, but they was married. I don't think they ever got divorced. They didn't get divorced. They just ended up separating in after many years and living two lives and shit like that. Just like I said, people do. Um, anyway, until she passed away, she ended up passing away quite a few many years ago. That was my Aunt Gab. They used to call her Black Gab. Black Gab, though, she, all them men love them some Gab, baby. That's what's wrong with Gab. Gab was out there with all them goddamn men. Okay. Anyway, here we go. So what else? I was going to show y'all something. So that's how you measure. Oh, so I said I was going to do some drafting. It is simple. What you would do is start off with, it's really simple. Once you learn about the body, and I guess I could break it down. I'll break it down real quick. But remember, I was going to turn the camera so y'all could see something. And then I showed y'all how to, and then I said I was going to show y'all. Damn. I'm going to have to get my paper and pen so I can write. Because like I said, I didn't, I'm not a teacher where I have notes. Okay. And where when it comes to me, then I start talking about it. Okay. I am going to be drafting this. I think so. I have drafted, I actually learned how to draft from YouTube, watching YouTube videos. And what it did for me is there's a lot of basics that I already know, right? And it didn't take long because I understand the body, I understand sewing, I understand all of that, right? And I don't like my aunts, grandmothers, all them people, uh, they never sat down and say, hey, calculate this, do that, do that. They never did that with me. I don't, they never did that with me. I was young. You see what I'm saying? So I was young. I just saw them doing things, cutting things. I was young. So, ergo, here we go. And I come to YouTube and I see some people, and I'm like, I don't want to do these patterns. And then I see some drafting, and I'm like, oh. So I look at a few videos. And it's simple. When I look at a few videos, I'm like, oh, so all I need to know is this measurement, that measurement, this measurement, that measurement. And then this is how I put that together. It's simple calculations once you understand the body, right? And so the truth is, there are simple calculations that the body has, right? It's almost like as simple as we know that 99.9% of human beings have two eyes. This is how, and we know that in between of 99.9999 people, they have a nose in between their two eyes. Right? Those are things that we know to be factual to human beings, right? So that's basically the same thing essentially with the body. We know that human beings have shoulders, and we know that based on your shoulder width, right? You have shoulders. My shoulder width might be wider than your shoulder width. And, and my shoulder down to my waistline might be longer or shorter than yours. And so those are the measurements that you take. And from my waistline, or should I say it would be my bust line to my waistline, down to my hip, down to my knees, down to my ankles, right? That's the basic structure of the body. With women, we got the bust line, we got under bust line. And some of those measurements are meant for tops and even dresses that are fitted to us because we might have to put in a dart. I'm about to explain what a dart is. They're simple to create, and I'm going to tell you what they do. Okay? So I'm about to get into that now. But this is really for the people who want to have questions that you might be scared to ask. So what is a dart though? Some people might be like, hey, why do I have to use a dart? So that's a good question. What is a dart? So uh, clothing is made from squares, and you could call it even a rectangle. Um, like we can even say a circle, right? Because skirts, when you put things at the bottom of us, you can a skirt is like a circle, right? Um, our tops is like that's just we could be that could be a square, and if it's and a dress will be a rectangle. So let me see, how could I do this by drawing? Okay, yeah, I do have a whiteboard, so let's do that. Whiteboard. Uh, Smoosh it, man. I just want to. Okay, so let's imagine a square. This is a square, right? We know that's a square. We're gonna make a rectangle. A rectangle. We're gonna make a triangle too. So we're gonna make a, let me see, should I do it upside down? Boom, boom. No, we could do both. But we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna do it like this. And we're gonna do a circle too. We're gonna do a circle. These are your basic shapes, right? Basic shapes. And this is what we do with fabric. This could be a shirt. What would I do? How do I make this into a shirt? This could be a shirt. This could be a shirt. This can also be a shirt. And believe it or not, this could be a shirt too. All of these could be shirts. Um, Now the the square could be a skirt. The rectangle could be a skirt. All of these could be a skirt as well. These are this is how we make clothing. We take two pieces of fabric, or one if it's a circle, and then we manipulate it. We manipulate it. Okay. We manipulate it by subtracting some fabric. And that's exactly what we do. we subtract fabric. So let's take this and turn this the square into a top of some sort. We take this square and we cut a hole from this area right here. We cut this out. And that's where the neck go, right? Remember, this was a square. And essentially, we now have a top. That's a top. When we put sleeves on, guess what we take? We take either another square, two other squares, or two other rectangles and add them to the side. That's all we do. That's what we do. We do the same thing to this rectangle to make a dress. Same thing to that triangle and to that circle. That's it. We cut something out. Now, with women, this is the basics of a man's shirt, is what I did to that first square. That's a man's shirt right there, sleeveless. That is what we've done. Now to women, Bill, let's make this a woman's shirt. A woman's shirt. Her shirt gonna be bigger. See, this is why you ladies, you probably thinking, hey, I could wear my husband's shirt. I'm smaller than him. You smaller than your husband, and yet you could still wear his shirt. He is wearing a large, extra large, and you could put on his shirt comfortably. It might be longer than you. That's only if you shorter than him. But if you're the same height or just a tad bit, you could wear his shirt. His sleeves might be longer, but you can still wear it. Why? Because our shirts are larger than theirs. Why? Because we have breasts. So our shirts gonna be larger. Our square will be larger than his square. Larger. Except what we're gonna do is under our breasts, I end up coming in and I take a measurement from your nipple to nipple. You have, say your nipples is from here to here. Every woman's different. That's why I got to take that measurement. I take your measurement from this nipple to this nipple. And let's say that measurement is 8 inches. I'm going to put 8 inches. I might remember it. I might need it. I may not. I'm going to put an 8 right here, right? Nipple to nip. I need to know that because I'm going to make this square real big. Because it needs to go over your breasts. And let's say you have 36 inches. This man may have 38-inch chest. And you have 38 breasts, right? Your breast may even be 40 inches. Your breast is bigger than his. And we got to fit yours in a shirt. See, that's why the material we're going to need for you is bigger than what we're going to need for him. Because we got to cover you up and you don't want it to be tight. But everything else on you not that big. You want it fitted nice to your curves, right? So I'm going to take that. I'm going to get this overly sized square. It's what I'm going to do. It's going to be big, y'all. It's going to be big, baby. But then I'm going to come in and I'm going to take 8 inches from here and I'm going to be like, okay, nipple, nip. I decide that from this side to this side is 4 inches. I mean, for 4 inches from here to here and from here to here, 4 inches. I'm just putting them numbers. I'm going to go here, 4 inches in, and I'm going to put I'm gonna put something here. From 4 inches from here to here, I'm gonna put something here, right? That's directly over your nipple. And then I'm gonna come a half an inch on this side and a half an inch on this side, a half an inch on this side, and a half an inch on this side, right? I'm gonna come down from your nipple. Cause I know I need to know exactly where your nipple at. Cause I don't want the dart to be right on your nipple. Cause I've seen people like that, and their nipple be pointed out. It be pointed right at their nipple, but you don't want that. You want it to come below the nipple. So maybe a half an inch below the nipple. Right. I'm gonna put just a little line, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw something like this. Right. Y'all see that? I drew that like that. Down at the bottom, it's called dart legs. That's the legs of the dart. It's the leg of the dart. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to cut that shit out. All of this right here about to be cut out, baby. This is gone. Just like that neckline. I'm about to, this get cut out. This get cut out. All of this get cut out. That's what a dart is. You taking fabric out of that. This get cut out. And how does it get cut out? You could either cut it and sew it, but essentially what you're doing is you take this side and that side and you sew them together. And it cinches that in. That means even though that shirt, that square was once overly sized, now at the top it's big because it needs to be big for your breasts. But when it came to your waist area, we took that bigness when we cut that all that extra fabric out of there and we contoured that shit to your body. And that's what darts do. And so, yes, in shirts that are fitted to your shape needs darts. Yes. That's what they do. That's why if you look at a woman's button-up shirt, you can see the dart. If you look at it, you will see two lines sewn right there under your nipple, under where your nipple belong. That. If that shit is on the side of your nipple though, that means that shit not meant for your body, baby. And if it runs on top of your breasts, then that means it's not made for your body. You got the wrong shirt for your body. That's what that means. And a dart is easy to make, and it's easy to just like I explained it. Is really how it's drafted. It's that simple. It's I will explain a little more, but I gave you essentially how that shit is done. I could told you why it's done, to take out that extra fabric that is not needed. It's needed at the top. It's not needed at the bottom. You ever seen a woman where she got large breasts and right here in the arm under her sleeve area, there's a gaping too much fabric right here? Well, she might need a dart in this spot to take that excess fabric from there. Because see, that's for the women with the larger breasts. They got them larger, fuller breasts. And it's not even so much even always about the size, which size does matter in this case, but it's mostly also about the how the shape of the breasts. Like, because I have large breasts, right? But they shaped a certain way. They got women with breasts smaller than mine, but they shape differently. And so they may need the under breast dart. And then there's other ways of doing, there's different ways of doing darts. There's ways where, you know, there's different ways of doing darts. There's the darts that are regularly looking like darts, and then there's a way, but it's essentially the same thing. There's a way where you actually cut that dart out. You cut them pieces out. In other words, instead of it being a square, I go and I cut this. Well, I can't explain it the way I did it here, but the same thing I did here is what I would do here with a dress. The dart would still be under the breast. Then I would do a nipple to nipple measurement and the dart, but the dart wouldn't go far down. Remember, this probably the waistline, right? This is all the way down, right? Because this is the full dress or skirt. The dart wouldn't go all the way to the bottom, okay? And a dress like this, or a shirt like this, these are the shoulder. You would make this a shoulder. You would still put a neckline, and you probably wouldn't need a dart. I would put a belt around something like this and shape that out. This could be a shirt too. You would put a belt around this and let the sleeves cut out a hole here, here, and the neckline. That would be a natural, nice looking shirt and or dress. This is what clothes are made out of, just shapes. And you have to manipulate the shapes to make clothing. And there's different ways of manipulating the shapes into clothing. Different ways of finishing. That's what the technical stuff come into. It's not that difficult. You start out, and if you're a beginner, you start doing it the simple way. As you start doing different techniques, you start learning better techniques of doing it. Don't let nobody stop you from doing what you want to learn, and don't be scared of techniques. But in the beginning, do it. Start with beginner steps. If it scare you. Now, if you ain't never scared, baby, I ain't never scared. If you one of them type of people, then jump right into that thing and do what you do. But nothing wrong with never being scared. When you ain't a never being scared person, you have to have patience. I am a never being scared person without patience. And you could I can tell in some of my projects. Now, because I've been sewing all my life, I've seen some of my things where they could be much better. To the regular person, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't know it. To me, though, I see it. And I'd be like, I know I could have, if I would have just took my time, it would have been way better. But this is me and my impatience. This is me and my impatience. Me not wanting to put that bias tape on the correct way. That's and there's not a right and wrong to a lot of things. There's just a right way and a better way. There's a way and a better way. There's a way and a better way. That's what I would say. A way and a better way. A way and a neater way. Or you could that the way could look neat. Okay. So listen, I'm watching them Africans. Let me tell you, that's who I learned the most from. I'm learning more about not judging my projects from them. Why? Because I'm watching as we, as Americans, sit here and care about these nitpicking on this, that, and the third. Right? We start talking about yeah, you need this and you need that and you need this. And them Africans is not even doing none of that shit. These people use gum, they use glue, they use this, and we buying stuff that costs $20 a yard. You know, we buy, and it's not even worth that. While they're using things that's affordable, you know what I mean? And their projects are coming out better, lasting longer, and it is mind boggling to me. Where when I watched them put this thing together in like 30 minutes, and I watched somebody in the US put this same purse together in like 2 hours. Now, 2 hours is a good amount of time. That's super fast. But when you compare it to them Africans and the way they did it, is it super fast? And then like the quality, there's no loss of quality. It's just that we, for some reason, think that we do things better. And I have to sit back and rethink things. And that's why I'm at in my life. I'm no longer letting people just tell me things and just believe it. You know what I mean? When I tell y'all things, just believe it. You know what I mean? But some people just don't want to believe me just because it's like it sounds too easy. Now that is weird. I understand if you don't just believe me because you've seen something different with your own eyes. I get that. But just because it seemed a little too easy or you've never heard nobody else say what I said, I don't understand that. Like if somebody says something that that's if you say something and I've not seen anything to the contrary, and it does sound easy, right? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna hear you out. Now, does that mean I'm gonna list? I'm gonna follow through and do what you do? No. I noticed the other day I was on a stream and there was some people speaking about a topic, and I was open minded to hearing because the person was saying some things that I know to be true, and then he was saying some things that I don't know to be true at all, right? And so I'm open minded hearing what he's saying because there was something he said that I found to be that could be beneficial to me and my family. And so when people, this is the thing, I don't like when people hear what I say and then now they want to prove to me that I shouldn't listen to someone. I am 54 years old. And I can promise you I'm not stupid. And therefore, if I'm not stupid, then I'm going to be okay. I'm going to listen to what I listen to, and I'm going to assess everything, and then I'm going to go forward from there. And and by the way, sometimes I'm just trolling. Okay, sometimes I'm just trolling, but it shocks me and amazes me how people think I'm serious all the time. I don't even understand how y'all think I'm serious all the time when y'all know that I'm not. I'm confused. I'm sitting on a panel, and because I'm not in the mood of dragging someone and I'm in the mood of trolling, now it's like people think they gotta save me. Don't save me. Let me drown. Don't save me, baby. I promise you, I don't know how to swim. Okay, let me drown. See, if I'm drowning, none of them men on that panel, the ones who would be, I would be against, they can't drown me. See, I'm gonna be taking all their breath while we underwater. Nah, I'm just joking. Let me stop, y'all. Um. Anyway, I hope I'm rambling right now and just having a little fun. But I hope this is understandable. This is how clothing are made, y'all. Um, this is me breaking it down for hopefully where you could understand how clothes are made. It's a manipulation of basic shapes to make clothing. And you could take a potato sack and you could put it on, cut a hole out the head, put it on, get your belt, cinch in the sides, and you can literally get you some other uh, little things and add to it. You can you can take some scissors and cut pieces and sew up areas and make it fitting. You can turn something that would people may consider to be unattractive into something beautiful. That's a potato sack, right? Remember what I mentioned earlier? How people were taking ugly things and convincing people that it's beautiful. Well, a potato sack really don't have a grain. A potato sack don't have it doesn't really have how should I say this? It won't flow a certain way. A potato sack is really like a utility fabric. A utility, it's not even, remember I called it a fabric. It's not a fabric, right? That is called textile, right? Because it could be real confusing, but the true term is not fabric, it is textiles. And the reason why I'm using the correct terminology is because of the potato sack and things, other um, textiles that I do use often in my bag making, right? Especially in my bag making. These are not called fabrics. And because they're not fabrics, they don't have grains, they don't have grain lines, they are made uh, different ways. Well, I can cut them any kind of way. There's no, they don't have a 45 degree. They don't, you know what I mean? So the potato sack, first of all, when I think of a potato sack, I think about how rough it is and things like that. But you can actually take that and turn that into something soft like cotton, you know? you can, believe it or not, there's so much you could do with textiles. You could take the roughest of rough and turn it soft. My mom taught me that so long ago. One day, it was something I was wearing. I think it was a pair of jeans. I'm not sure. That's what I think it was. A pair of jeans. And I told her, I didn't really wear pants. And my mom had given me a pair of pants, and I told her I didn't like them. I told her they was too rough. And I'm not joking. My mom was one of them educators. The way she would teach us, and she was like, "What do you mean they're too rough?" I said, "Mom, they're too rough. I don't like the way they feel against my skin." And my mom took some newspaper and she said, "Here." She gave me newspaper. She said, "What this feel like?" I said, "It's rough." She said, "Yeah." She says, "But," she says, "Crumble it up." And she says, "What does that feel like?" I said, "Rough." And she said, "Give it to me." And my mom took the newspaper and she took it in her hand and she took it and rubbed it against each other, the paper against itself. I say each other, y'all, against itself. Let me see, do I have any paper around here that I can kind of, let's see. What is this? I don't think this might not work. But yeah, this probably says. I think it'll work with any paper. So I have some paper here, just like a news, a sales thing from Joanne's, and she took it and she rolled it up like that, and then she took it, unballed it, and she rubbed it together like this, right? And she kept doing that for a couple of minutes or so, and it became soft. It became soft, really soft. And so she was she was explaining to me that the more I not only wore it, but the more I wore it and washed it, the softer it would become. Because they did have a jean, y'all, that was so, I think it was regular jeans, if I'm correct. I might be wrong, but I could have sworn I could not stand Wrangler jeans. And that jean material was so thick and rough. and rough. I couldn't stand it. First of all, I didn't like pants. I didn't wear pants when I was when I was a teenager. I wore dresses and shorts. I did wear shorts, and I didn't wear pants. I went to school always wearing dresses. Okay, dresses and skirts, skirts and dresses. Um, yeah, and if I wore, I don't even remember having pants. I did have a pair of jabos, and but they were more like kind of like they wasn't jeans. They were like lightweight. You would call them kind of like slacks, kind of like. And the reason I remember those jabos is because they probably was the only pair of pants I had. Uh, and that was in my teen years. By then, I was like in high school. Um, but I will. So my mom, she expressed to me, and that's when I saw newspaper turn into like something real soft. It shocked me. But that's how my mom was. She would teach me things like that by showing us. Right? That's the type of mother she was. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this stream. If y'all didn't, I don't know what to tell you, baby. I need the watch hours, honey. I just need the watch hours, okay? Nah, but for real, I'm not an educator. I don't, I'm not really a sewing teacher on the spree like that. Uh, I, I don't be knowing if what I'm teaching is something that y'all understand. I do know what I'm teaching is factual. You know what I mean? If anybody have any questions, you can ask me questions in the comment area, like after the live, or you can truly email me for real. I am going to show drafting because I'm going to draft. I don't think I'm going to do it live though, because I do ramble a lot. And I'm going to tell you why, because my mind is always going. And so when I work, I usually have music on and music on, me singing, and that's when I get my work done. If I'm not, if the music not going and I'm singing or rapping or something, then my music, it take me forever to get something done, which means my brain is always going. You know what I mean? And that is why I ramble a lot. I, Sometimes I'm thinking about two, three different things at the same time. I understand that's who I am. Just because I know that I do it doesn't mean I can stop it. It's just that I know that I do it, right? And it's not something that I've always, well, kind of is something I've always done. I've always had a mind that runs, and that's why I'm forgetful. I don't forget, but my mind is running so fast I can't think about sometimes remember the name of things. It's not that I've forgotten the things, right? Because if I forgot them, I wouldn't be able to describe it, right? I wouldn't be able to describe the situation I'm talking about if I forgot it. Because people be like, oh, and her memory is bad. But how can my memory be bad if I'm describing what I'm talking about? My memory isn't bad. It's just that I may not. First of all, I'm bad with names. That's number one. Okay, I'm bad with names. I'm terribly bad with names. It's not even that I'm bad with names. The truth is, if you come up to me and tell me your name, I don't even be paying no attention. What the hell you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest. I don't pay. If people talking to me, I might be thinking about something else. I'm looking at you to see if you're a danger to me, but I'm looking beyond you. I'm looking you up and down to see, do I need to pull out this weapon? Do I need to pull out this mace? Should I call for help? Should I be running or should I be listening? Is this person a danger to me? And you telling me your name and everything, and I'm like, you might have to tell me your name several times, and I'm only going to remember it once I assess that you are where I need to know your name. And now I need to know your name. Oh, we're going to work together? Okay, let me listen. I need to know your name. We just met in the store. You tell me your name. I don't need to know your name. I don't, okay, thank you. You look, you tell me your name now. As soon as you walk in the store, you greet me and you tell me your name. Cool. You I'm in the fruit area, the fruits and vegetable area, and you walk up to me and you say hi, and you remember my name. I'll be wondering how in the hell you remember my name. But and then I look at you and I say, what's your name again? And you're shocked because you're thinking, I just walked away from you. Don't be shocked, baby. I didn't think I was gonna need to know your name. But I guess what I'm saying is, people are saying that I have a bad memory. I'm telling you the story. I'm telling you the incident. I'm telling you these things. And the thing that I didn't think was important, or, you know, the, there's some things that, hey, I don't know all the details to. How is my memory bad? That don't even make sense. And some of these things happened 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm sorry if I don't remember the name. I'm sorry if I don't remember the name of the song, but I know the words to the song. I'm, you know what I mean? I'm sorry if I don't know who sung it, but I remember the lyrics. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. And I'm rambling again, and I'm about to sign off because no telling what I might say next. No telling, baby, no telling. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Might be nobody. I don't know because I never look in the chat. But no, for real, if anybody want help, just hit me up. For real. I am here to help. That's what my channel is about, for real help. You know what I mean? If you're looking for me to have a video every week to help you, to me, that's not help. Help is when, like, something happened to my computer. Damn, I was about to say computer. Something happened to my sewing machine, and I'd be thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Who can, like, how do I figure this out? And then I could reach out to somebody in the email, and they might hit me back in the email. You know what I'm saying? And even though it may not be directly right away, I know they're gonna reach back to me in a couple of days. Now, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna reach back if you email me. You're gonna have to call me. Now, you gotta call me. You can block your number. I'm okay with that. You gotta call me and tell me that you emailed me. Hey, Bomb, check your email. That's all you gotta do is say, Bomb, check your email. And within 2 days, I'll check my email. But you cannot just email me. I do not get email notifications, y'all. Okay. I set that up you know how much email I get? I get email from all the Facebooks, all the Instagrams. Like, I got people emailing me from anything that I ever purchased something from. You know, my Etsy, all these people, I don't even know how they got my email. You know what I'm saying? I get email seem like every minute on a minute. People is sending me email. I got one email account that I can't even get email anymore. They keep telling me my email is full. And that's a Google email, y'all. That's how much email I've got. Okay. And therefore I don't get email notifications. But if you call me and say, hey, can you check your email? But you can't tell me to check your email. I emailed you. You don't check your email and not tell me when you sent it. If you sent it 2 days ago, you got to say, hey, I sent you email 2 days ago. You got to say that. Okay. Don't just tell me to check my email. I promise you, if I open my email, I think some of y'all have seen my email. It's crazy. And of course, it's crazier than crazy since I don't check it. And I'm getting email every look, every the one that you do hear, that's not email. When you hear notifications, that's political stuff, you know, stuff that's coming directly to my phone. Okay. Um, but as far as email, I ain't letting that, no, I ain't letting that stuff come to my phone, baby. Anyway, my number is 504-224-8121. I'm going to say it one more again, even though y'all can rewind it and hear it again, but I'm going to say it slower because I am nice like that. It is a Google Voice number. So you can block your number. I will accept the number. I'm letting you know why I give out the number because it is a Google Voice number. And I can always block someone if they are a troll. And if I had to, I can change the number if I wanted to. Right? So that's the truth. That's why I don't mind giving it out. Um, I've not ever had any problems, and I've been giving out that number for a few years. Okay, people like to mess with you online, but people don't generally call you up and mess with you. That's what I found. Okay, they usually don't do that. Not to me anyway. Okay, because they know I'm not on here trying to harm anybody. So my number is 504-224. Wait a minute, 504-224-8121. I got to say it fast, y'all. I'm so used to saying it fast. 8121. Okay. My email is, I got several, but the one that you can email me is bombcherrylive@gmail.com. Okay. Bombcherrylive. All one word. Bombcherrylive@gmail.com. And if it's a sewing question, put sewing at the top. If it's a gardening question about gardening, put gardening at the top. If it's anything about anything else, just put it at the top so I can know before I open it what it's going to be referencing. I will be putting my. It's a good thing I didn't put them seeds in the ground because I've been waiting. And the only reason I didn't do the gardening indoors, the seeds indoors yet, is because I thought it was warming up, which was a big mistake. Because it's 50 something degrees. It's 57 degrees outside right now, which is bad, right? That's below there. That's bad. If I would have put them out, that's bad. So I think this weekend I am going to start them indoors. Um, yeah, I'm gonna start them indoors because here we are in April. We about to hit May. Okay. Um, and I want to have a nice garden this year. It's gonna be small, but anybody want to garden with me? You can start out with a small garden. If you do want to garden and you have a small space, you can email me. Send me a picture of your small little space where you have sunlight, okay? Outdoors. It could be a little patio, whether it's up or even down. And maybe you don't have a patio. Maybe you just have a kitchen windowsill. There's some things you could grow there. Okay. You're not gonna be able to do like a garden, but you could do basil and there's some things you could do in the windowsill, y'all. Okay. That will be beneficial to you if you cook. That's some things that you could grow in your neighborhood. Look, if you live in an apartment, you could grow some things, right? If you walk around your apartment area and you see a little area with some grass, you listen. As long as if you don't mind other people seeing them tomatoes and grabbing a tomato or two, you can watch it grow. You know, um, Don't get crazy and grow a whole garden though. You know what I mean? You might grow you a tomato tree here, a tomato tree there, tomato there. You know, don't make it too obvious. Don't be digging up everything like that. That's the way of doing things. You might even be able to get away with it with a bucket. Like you grow it in a container, like a bucket. And if they allow you to put it out during the day, you know what I mean, and you water it, they know it's yours. You take care of it. Now you might have issues with people messing with it. I don't know. That's for you to determine. They might even let you put it sit it out there, somewhere. You have to determine these things. I can't determine these things. But don't give up just because you don't have a ground to dig in. If you got a space that you know where you could sit something there, a bucket, then you could grow something. That's all I'm saying. Don't give up just because it's not your ground to dig in. You don't have to dig in no ground to grow a garden. Okay. I heard they got some planting things at the Dollar Tree that I might have to go and check out. I heard they got a stackables. I saw somebody on YouTube with them. I was like, oh shit. I might have to go check that out. Okay. Because those things cost a couple of $100s. They got this thing where they stack and they go high, a couple of $100. But if I can go get me a few of them and shit, listen, if y'all ever grow basil, basil is so good with food. What else? And that shit high. That basil is expensive. Okay. You ever bought basil? It's like, and it may not even look like it's expensive, but if you cook with it, am I thinking about basil? Yes. Fresh basil. I'm not talking about that basil, that dried basil, y'all. Okay. That I'm talking about a fresh stalk of basil. Usually is in this plastic thing over there with the frozen, not the frozen, it's over there with the fruits and vegetables, but it's in a plastic container over there with the vegetables like the celery and things like that. That little thing be like $7 to $9. It might be even more expensive than that. That's how much it was before COVID. It's probably more than that. And you could use, I make my husband a steak and baste it with some butter and put that basil on there. Oh my God. He'd be like in heaven. Oh, you grow some basil in a on a windowsill. Or yeah, okay. You could you don't need a whole you just need sunlight. It don't need to be outside or anything. It just needs sunlight. Most things just mostly need sunlight. Some things though, gardening need pollination, right? That's when they need to be outside with the bees and different things, right? The one thing I couldn't grow because I didn't have an understanding was corn. You have to have rows of corn. I don't have the space for that. I tried to grow corn, man. It was an ultimate fail because I never grow corn. My dad though, and my grandmother, everybody had corn, but of course they had space. And I was thinking, okay, kids like corn. And I saw some corn seeds. And so I said, let me grow some corn. And then I did some research online. When I did that, I was like, oh, this I knew it wasn't gonna grow. But I had already put it in the ground. And I was like, okay, but certain things have to. So now I could have gone out there and pollinated it myself. I would have had to do the research and figured out how to do that. Right? But I've seen people do it. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it. I've seen people do it, and if they could do it, I could do it. That's my look. That's my philosophy of life. If you can do it, so can I. That's it. That's the type of um that's the way I live. That's the way I live my life. That's how I live my life as long as I can remember. If you could do it, I could do it. I went in the military thinking, oh, she went in. Oh, she went through basic. If she could do it, I could do it. So I went in knowing that I could do it. Everything I've done ever, I looked around, I found somebody, and I said, oh, they was able to do it. I'm able to do it. And so that's how I live my life. So if I could do it, y'all could do it. Okay. Some of y'all may not live your life that way, but look, that's a positive way of thinking about it. I ain't nobody special. And if I'm nobody real special and I can do it, then you can do it. Okay. And that's all I got to say about that. Okay. I ain't nobody special. Nobody special. And I'm not saying that I never said if you could do it, I could do it better. I never said I could do it better. I just said if you could do it, I could do it. Okay. I never was making it seem like I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying, shh, you ain't better than me. That's all. Okay. Anyway, hey, this is Bomb Cherry Baby, Miss Bomb Cherry Live. And what you will learn from me is that you can do it. Okay. I am here to help get you to understand life. Okay. Get you to want to live healthy. Okay. As healthy as you can. Understand the world in which we live in and be the best you could be. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm about. And yes, I do crack some jokes. And yes, I like to have fun. And yes, I might snap here and there. That is so true. Okay. And I might cuss. I'm gonna try not to cuss on this channel. I think I may have slipped up a couple of times today. I apologize. But okay, I'm gonna try my best. It's not like I do have to cuss. I'm just so used to doing it on YouTube. And I'm gonna try my best on this channel not to do it. But if I do cuss, it don't make me a bad person. But I do want to make this channel where children, and when I say children, I'm talking about younger people, like teenagers who might be looking to better themselves in gardening and sewing and some information that I might share. I do want them to be able to come over here and listen to it. So I'm going to purposely try to not cuss. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of 2024. Now I do have another channel. I'm not gonna be doing that over there. Okay, I can't I can't do it everywhere. I'm I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a clown. I'm a clown. But nah, I'm not on here trying to judge no one. I don't do that. I'm not that type of person. Okay, unless you piss me off, and then I could be any kind of person. See, that's reality, though. I don't have to lie. No reason to lie. If you piss me off, I found it's not even being pissed off. Pissing me off, that I don't really get pissed off. What happens is when I get hurt, which I learned recently. Seems like when I get hurt, I realize I get mean. Okay. I haven't gotten hurt often in my life. So it was an epiphany. Is that the word? Epiphany. It was a real epiphany when I got really hurt because I haven't gotten hurt many times in my life. Like I think the last week or this weekend or whenever that happened, I learned something about myself that I did not know. And the reason I did not know is because I can't remember a time where someone hurt me. You know what I mean? Besides my parents passing away, that's different. That's a hurt that nobody created, but God, I guess, in essentially. So you kind of be mad at the world around you a little bit, but the hurt that I felt um a few days ago or whatever, I never felt that ever. That I could, yeah. I've never felt that. Man, it was bad. It was so bad. I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. It was an epiphany though. It taught me something about myself that I didn't know. Because there's some things that people don't know. Like I was on a rampage. I was on a me coming to the internet, doing what I did. That was just a little bit of it. That was me out lashing out, towards the people or the person who I thought was the cause. But before that, I was lashing out the people I love in my household. And that I am so embarrassed about. I'm so embarrassed about that shit. I don't even know where that came from. Man, some of the things I said to the people I love, y'all, because I was hurt. I didn't think I had that in me. Here I am thinking, yeah, you shouldn't love the ones you hurt. Of course we say things like that. I've always said, yeah, I've never done that. I've never experienced that. And there it was. Right there. Lord have mercy. Anyway, I'm gone. I'll see y'all later. Look, you never know who you are until you know who you are. And sometimes you just don't know until something presents itself. I'll see y'all another day. It's Bomb Cherry, baby. It's Bomb Cherry. She gonna always try to keep it real with you, even when it's not beneficial to us sometimes. Okay. But I always got other people to think about in my family, so I can't tell y'all everything. But if I could, I would. But I can't. So I ain't. And the only reason I ain't is because I do have other people. I can't tell y'all everything because I got my children to worry about, my husband to worry about, other people in the family. There's some people in the family I don't care about, but my husband, he cares about them. He care about them. I care about him. So I can, so I can't talk about them the way I would, um, the way I think they deserve possibly to be talked about. You know what I mean? I love him. So I gotta respect him. Okay. And that's so therefore I gotta do what he asked me and I respect him. So I'm gonna do what he asked me to do. Or do what he asked me not to do. See? That's how that goes. That's called love. And that's what people are missing in relationships. People are acting like I don't have to do what he say. No, you don't. You don't have to do what he or she say. But if you love and respect that person, you will listen to what they have to say, and then you will compromise at least, I guess. I do be telling people I ain't got to do because the men be talking like you have to, like I have to do what my husband say. And I'll be like, no, I don't have to. Because the way they present it. And so of course I'd be like, no, I don't have to. And I'd be like, yeah, we're a partnership, but we are a partner. I don't have no owner and I don't have no leader. I ain't no goddamn leader, man, but man, I'm out. I'm about to go off for no reason.